Carolyn Dube here with a video for the June Colorful Jelly Print Party. Thank you to everybody who linked up last month in the party and shared what they were making with the jelly plate, and thank you to everyone who commented and shared kind words with them. That is truly the fuel that keeps the creativity going, is when you get those compliments and kind words from people. So thank you to everybody who visited and to everybody that linked up. I have got a spatula here, happens to be a Betty Crocker one, from the dollar store. A friend gave this to me, and I am going to use it to make a comb of sorts. I thought I had one, turns out I didn't, so I'm just going to make one of my own. I wanted something with very pointy ends, kind of close together, so I am just going to cut my own. I thought about doing this like with a credit card, because when I usually do this in this kind of thing with paper, I do it, cut it out of a credit card, but I was worried that it would kind of scratch up and be a little too rough on the surface of the jelly plate. So I thought, oh, if I do something with a silicone or a rubbery thing, that might make it work a little bit better. I don't want the whole thing, so I'm actually going to cut this off here, because I really just want a partial for what I am going to be doing with it. So this is going to work out just great. I'm going to be working with Tulip Slick Paint. I have it in 3 colors here. I think I picked them up at Walmart. You can get Michael's, Walmart, all sorts of places you can find these. And I'd gotten the idea for this thanks to Jane Davies and how she had used these on her jelly plate. So it got me thinking and wanted to try something my style with it. So thank you, Jane, for giving me this spark. Love it because I had these already from another project, so I love it when I can use stuff that I already have. Put on a layer of Amsterdam paint with the white, and that's going to allow some of this stuff to float, which will make more sense in a moment. I am going to, oops, shoot that down. Squirting on the fabric paint there. The nice part about this stuff is it does take longer to dry, so I have more open time than with traditional acrylics that I usually use with the jelly plate. So it's kind of nice not to have the pressure to hurry and hustle. Whoops. If the paint kind of does that where it sort of burps or splatters, not going to be a problem because of what I'm about to do with this. So I've got my circles on there. I'm going to grab my combing type tool, and now I'm going to pull it out, kind of flick it out. Every now and then kind of wipe it off when it gets globbed up with paint. Kind of pull that out, making the sort of starburst. I think of this as like a solar flare. The nerd in me that just saw the Star Trek movie, so this is my interpretation of a solar flare. Not that there was really a solar flare in the movie, but, you know, stars and all that stuff make me think of Star Trek. Okay. Clean that off. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about cleaning this off because it's a silicone, stuff will come off of it. Paint's really thick here. See if you can get an idea of how thick I have the paint on there with the dimensional paint. So for that reason, I'm only going to push down lightly. Otherwise, I'll just get this big old flat pancake mess. So I'm just going to set it on there and just really gently go like this and see what I pick up. So there's my first starburst. Second starburst. As more and more of the paint gets picked up, I can push a little bit harder. But this one you kind of just have to feel for it and see how hard you should press. Oh, I really like that one. Let's starburst my solar flares going here. I've taken a bunch of the paint off, so I'm going to push a little bit more on this. at this point it's beginning to get a very softer, it's getting a softer look to it. So what I'm going to do is kind of reverse the paper, turn it this way, and I'm going to put the same paper down. A couple of things are going to happen. One, I'm going to pull up paint in another spot on here, but some of the paint that was over here is actually transferring back to the jelly plate. So it all just kind of ends up going back and forth and back and forth. And what it's creating is a really soft look for this. Because pieces are starting to mix together, blend together. And I'm just picking up as much of it as I can. When you have wet paint on your paper and you have wet paint on the jelly plate, it does not pick up as well as if you had dry to wet. So if you're wondering why it's not all coming up, when you work wet to wet, not as much pulls up. So I'll take a dry piece here and pull off the last little bits off of the jelly plate. And that gives you a nice soft, that one's a very soft. So I'm going to show you that one again, but I'm going to make some slight changes to it, and you can see some of the variation. Start out with my layer of white here. And then I'm going to put, whoops, oh, I love how that's making it. I love how those colors are blending together over there. Ooh. Making a great paper. I really like that one. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 types of circles here. I'm going to do, starting with the, I'm going to put this right on top of each other here, so things are really close together. And then spreading out farther and farther with each one that I do. So this first one I'm going to try and put them right on top of each other. Right next to each other as close as I can. I'm just going to pull it out a little bit. And then this one's really going to go big. And I'm going to pull through them. Kind of give it a nice fanned out look. Wipe off the excess. And then come out. Do the same thing here. Really pulling through these to get that nice. Do you know what this reminds me of too? Is, did you ever do spin art as a kid? This reminds me of spin art. Okay, so I've got those. So each one's a little bit different. For this first one, I am not going to push down very hard, except on the white painty part. And then push down a little bit more the second time. And third one. The paint is, there's less paint on it, so I'm going to push down more on this one. Oh yeah, really like that. Man, that jelly plate's pretty, just the way it is. Go in here with this one. And this is probably going to be my last print of it. There isn't a whole lot left on there, so what I am going to do is turn my page and just pick up the rest of it. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I get a nice color blending on the other side. So you can see how it made just, it's very soft. Colors are kind of blending around. Now it will take these a while to dry. So now it's your turn to play. Can't wait to see what you create. And remember, you can link it up to the Colorful Jelly Print Party over at acolorfuljourney.com. The link party will be open all month, so be sure to pop in and see what everybody's making.